Thank you for joining. My name is Justin Ford, and I am with IAMS Annuities. I'm going to be covering a little introduction here as it relates to IAMS prior to getting started and introducing our feature speaker, David with Fidelity and Guarantee. And before we get started, we're going to go ahead and get right in. We've got a diverse audience today. Some of you attending are brand new to IAMS or taking a look at us for the first or second time, and some of you are already existing producers with us, and we appreciate both of you attending today. And with that being said, we're going to cover some items here that pertain to both. So we'll get started. Right off the bat, if you are new or considering joining IAMS, I want to talk to you about our new Producer Builders program. The intent behind this is to grow your production as quickly as possible and help with those beginning stages of working with a new organization. Until a piece of business goes through and you get an opportunity to shake hands with every different level of the departments within IAMS, it's a little hard to gauge whether or not working with us here is going to be everything that you thought it was. And so we want to incentivize that first 180 days with us. We're going to pay you for your first pieces of business as they come through to help grow your production quicker and faster in the beginning, and to help introduce you to as many people as possible here at IAMS and see how the process works. And the way we're going to compensate is on the screen, and these are annuity numbers, but essentially target premium for life insurance would be a tenth. So that 100,000 level would be 10,000 in target premium, or maybe a mixture. Maybe you have 5,000 in target and some annuity business as well. If you have any interest in these, talk to your sales director today and they can get you the same sheet and talk with you about what's involved. But during your first 180 days, if you submit and get paid $100,000 in annuity premium or $10,000 in target, what we'll do here is give you some options: $750 in cash, an iPad, 1,500-piece postcard mailing, or even a pre-formatted email system with a marketing analysis and corporate identity package from our creative team, which we'll be talking about here in a moment. And that ranges all the way up to the $1 million level. And as an example, we're just $500,000 in total annuity production. That mailing goes up to $5,000. In addition to that, 4,000-piece mailing or a 4,000-piece mailing postcard with Dave Pimper on a Social Security presentation and coaching, or a trip out to the Ritz-Carlton as an example, or a billboard ad. So we've got options here to help incentivize you coming on board. If you do have interest, reach out to your primary contact at IAMS. Let them know you have interest in taking advantage of this while you are new with us, and we appreciate it. Those that just came on or others that have been with us may be familiar with our Referred Producer program. We grow our practice much like you do. When it comes to the beneficial relationships that we have, oftentimes those do come from referrals and introductions. And for anybody in the audience that has referred people over to us, I've got to say thank you. We appreciate it. And in addition to the appreciation, we are going to pay you for that as well. So the way this works is we're going to pay you a couple different ways. The first time you refer someone over to us, we're going to take care of all the introduction calls, handle the contracting to get them set up. And once they license with a carrier with us, we're going to pay you a one-time $50 cash bonus. So it'll be sent out to you in a check. And then as they come on board and write their first cases with us, we're going to pay you a percentage off their business. Now that comes in, you can see the numbers here, that comes off of our bottom line. It does not come out of their pocket. They are not set up underneath you in some hierarchy. This is from IAMS, so they get paid the same, whatever their commission level is, you get paid yours as an independent producer, and then we pay you these additional basis points if they are outside of a hierarchy. We can't do the same thing if they are part of your agency, but that way you'd be, if they were part of your agency, you'd be setting up a different agreement. But if you refer someone in that's not part of your agency that you feel that would benefit from the services like you have with IAMS, we're going to pay you for that for the life of their business. And you can see the numbers here. That'll come to you in the form of a check. Our back office support, as you come on board with us and you start writing that first application, you'll realize why many advisors say IAMS is top notch when it comes to support. Our support team on annuities, life insurance isn't just processing the applications or following up on those applications or dealing with kind of the stress of right now waiting with on hold with insurance companies that may have some backups as far as business after that last interest rate hike. But in addition to that, it's case design assistance, building your business tools and resources, forms at your fingertips, which we can leverage via our website we'll talk about here in a second, and really submission to commission support. So also following up on those commission payments, as well as consultative coaching for your practice. And then, of course, we do have paperless contracting as well. We do, for applications that are electronic, we do subscriber work with Firelight, as well as the iPipeline version iGo for life insurance. You can access both of those via our website, and in many cases get applications paid if they're cash within the same day. This makes life so much easier using Firelight and iGo, and you can access those directly via our website. If you're not approved already for Firelight, let us know, let your primary contact know, and we can get you set up right away on that. Same thing with our website. If you have not registered for our website yet, you can simply go out there and click register underneath the login section. It'll ask for your email address. Go ahead and get set up there. A lot of materials we're going to be talking about here in a second on there. And we are bringing on more and more carriers with Firelight every day. Before we get into creative solutions, on our website, we do have access to everything from life insurance, term insurance, guaranteed universal life quotes, all the way through annuity, multi-year guaranteed rates. Many of you may be familiar with our rate book. As the rates begin to change as quickly as they did, we've navigated and moved that towards our website, where you can now sort on our website using a tool, everything from indexed annuities to fixed, and you can narrow that down and get a list all the way down through using what annuities are flexible premium, what annuity term you'd be interested in, what state you're writing in, what annuity companies would take less than $10,000 in premium, and be able to see everything from commissions all the way through withdrawal features right out on our website. So I'd urge you to take a look at our website. Give us a call if you have any questions, or if you'd like kind of an orientation, we'd be happy to help. There's a lot of great tools out there. Same thing with forms. If you're familiar with calling us for an application form or even a service form, like a RMD or an income benefit rider start form or a free withdrawal form or a simple beneficiary change form, those are all accessible on our website through iPipeline. So you can access the majority of the forms that you need out there. And if there's not something out there you need, just give us a call. In addition to our spiel, we do have a creative marketing solutions team that is housed here in IAMS property. These are employees that work for us. It's not a consulting team that we outsource. And the reason for that is, in our mind, is important. The reason that's important is because we, outsourcing that team oftentimes comes with different challenges. What we wanted to do is create a team that, one, understood our industry, our very specific niche within the financial services realm, if you will. And then also, we wanted to make sure we created an environment that allows our advisors to get what they need to help promote their practice, to help people in their community see how valuable they are via creative solutions, and not have them tied to a advertising team that required a payment to keep that material proprietary. So in other words, anything you do with IAMS is your material. If you go to a private advertising team or firm, oftentimes you have a contract that you fill out to where the material they put together may be owned by them. And where that becomes a problem is, or can become a problem, is local advertising teams oftentimes don't know our industry. They may leverage your situation to better understand our industry, and then once a competitor comes in, they can oftentimes share those same concept strategies with the competitor. And we don't do that, obviously, so that is one benefit. We also don't use this as a revenue source, a core revenue driver for our business. We're not looking at making money off our creative services. We'd prefer all these be paid for by the business that you submit with us. So if you have interest in, because the goal is to grow your practice, and when you grow, we grow. So if you have interest in marketing solutions for your practice, reach out to your primary contact today, and we can get you set up with them. We talked about our IAMS website a moment ago here. If you have an interest, or if you currently are a investment advisory representative looking for an insurance-friendly RIA to attach yourself to, give us a call. Whether you're new or considering getting the 65, or just need some help with the study materials and getting started opening your U10, we can help. Or if you're an existing advisor with the Series 65 underneath an RIA, and we're looking for someone with a lower fee structure, somebody who is a little more amicable to annuity sales, we can also help. We do have our corporate RIA, IMES Wealth Management, which in the long run can help increase additional revenue, retention, build further relationships, and really allow you to see a client's full picture. So if you have interest there, let us know as well. We can get a conversation going with Duncan from our IMES Wealth Management team with you, answer any questions you may have. We have opened back up our annuity and life training academies, 2-day training academies covering indexed annuities, detailed information, large life case marketing, all the way through wealth transfer tools, sales tools, advanced annuity sales topics, and strategies from 4 top advisors or producers here. We've got one coming up in April. If you haven't gotten signed up on that list, give us a call and we can get you registered or discuss further with you the academies. And we are going to be having multiple dates throughout the year now that we've gotten around the COVID issue here. So those have opened back up. We do have one coming up in April. Let your primary contact know today and we can get you set up. And we're in the middle of our qualification period as well for our top producer incentive trip, which is going to be at the Seaside Sanctuary. We do an 18-month qualification for this trip, not a 12-month like many other of our competitors. The qualification period started last July 1st and goes through the end of this year, December 31st of 2023. 4.5 million points to qualify. To equate that to annuities, it'd be 4.5 million in annuity production. You mix in life insurance target, and it can be a mixture of the two. Includes you and a guest. The trip is April 14th of 2024 through the 18th, and we've also got an extension for top production within that group. So if you have an interest in the trip, it's going to be great. If you have an interest in attending these, let your primary marketer or sales contact know, and we can get you further information on there. And I think that's what we've got. I'm going to switch it over here to David. If you're ready, David, I'm going to share the screen with everybody.
Yeah, I am ready.
Excellent. Let's do this here and get you set up. And it'll probably take a second to click over, and then we'll be seeing. We can see what you've got up. That's great. So I'll introduce David Downing. David's been a phenomenal resource with through Fidelity and Guarantee with us here, as well as others. And I know you've been helpful with me, and looking forward to your presentation. I'm going to let you take it, David.
Yeah, thank you so much. Appreciate the time. Always great to be here with the IMES family. Now you can see my screen in non-presentation modes. You're seeing Performance Pro 10 across the top. Is that correct?
Yes, and they may be able to see it in presentation mode. So they're probably seeing the full thing on yours. But yeah, I can see you.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, thanks for the time. This product, we've made some changes to it. This is a product that we've had in our suite for several years. But when I first joined the F&G team, it wasn't talked about a whole lot. It had a high fee, relatively small bonus. And it was one of those products that kind of sat in the middle of everything and got lost in the noise. So at the end of last year, we wanted to make some changes to this product, and it turns out those changes have propelled the Performance Pro into our number 3 spot for sales in 2023. So if you attended the last webinar, we talked a little bit about this, but Lisa Legendro asked that I come back and talk about it again because she's been getting tons of calls about this product, what it does, where it fits, and really the first bullet point here under the Performance Pro, that strong bonus with the growth potential, are the 2 top selling points that we see this product being used for. Before we get there, if you don't know who we are, who I am, my name is David Downing. I'm a senior internal wholesaler here at F&G who F&G is we've been around for a long time. We've actually been around for 60 years. We operated under a few different names, but over the last 4 to 5 years is where really where F&G has established strong foothold in the annuity market, the fixed index annuity market specifically. And last year, we were number 4 in this space for overall annuity sales, which equates to over 800,000 people protected, as I mentioned earlier, around since 1959. And we actually introduced our first fixed indexed annuity in the late 90s. 1998 is when F&G first introduced its first fixed index annuity into the market. But when I talk about where F&G's at today, how we're able to create products like the Performance Pro and position them, it's really in partnership of Blackstone. In 2017, we brought on Blackstone to manage our general ledger. And those investments, those yields, the product positioning allowed us actually to be purchased as a standalone subsidiary of F&F in 2020, which propelled us to an A- rating. And we'll talk about that a little bit here. But this Blackstone partnership has really been great to us because of their investments in fixed income, long-term sustainable solutions. We're able to offer some long-term sustainable solutions to you and your client. Again, just to highlight what happened in 2020, once we had that F&F partnership, that purchase, we were able to be moved by AM Best, S&P, and Fitch into that A- rating category. And actually, we just heard back from AM Best, and they moved us from stable to positive. So continuing to have that positive momentum, not only just within the marketplace, but also within the rating companies, within the sustainability. So lots of great stuff happening here. And just to give you an idea, I think about 800,000 people protected, but I also think about when I first joined F&G 2.5 years ago, this was a team of about 300 people. As we rounded out last year, we had over 800 employees here with us in the United States, mainly around Des Moines, Iowa, but really positive things going on here at F&G. So happy you're attending, happy for the partnership if you've sold F&G products, and happy for the time if you haven't. But let's hop into this Performance Pro product, what it does, where it fits, how it's being positioned, all the good stuff. So from left to right, we'll talk about what it's most being used for, and then what it's also being supplementary or complementary to what it's being used for. But the biggest story here is bonus accumulation. 15% premium bonus that's applied to the account value day one. It vests on a normal schedule at 10% for 10 years. But really, the fact that it's applied day one is huge when we talk about compounding interest, things like that. But it truly is a account value bonus. Huge, one of the industry leading bonuses. Now, when it comes to fees for this product, traditionally this product had a high fee, above 1%. When I started, it was around 1.3%. And we really wanted to enter the space of fee-free bonus product. So that's what we tried to do. And of course, the state regulators came back and they said, hang on a second. You cannot drop a fee off to zero, or else you have to refile the product, which can take several years. We didn't want to wait several years to have a product like this in the marketplace. So we said, how low can we go, right? And they said 10 basis points is the lowest fee you can have before you have to refile this product. So that's what we did. So for that fee, you get guaranteed lifetime income. It's automatically included. But I get a lot of calls about this. They say, I think it's a typo here. You know, the fee is 1%, right? No, the fee is 10 basis points. You put in $100,000, the fee is $100, right? 10 basis points. It's often overlooked, but that is the fee, 10 basis points. And then, of course, like all of our income rider products, you're going to have the option for your client to utilize the impairment multiplier, where they get 2x income in the event that they can't do 2 or 6 daily living activities. So really nice feature. It's really complementary to this bonus story, but it's also available no fee. And then, of course, there's some other optionalities, so waiver of surrender charges, things like that. If your client needs home health care, nursing home care, terminal illness, etc. So lots of great features, but really on the left-hand side is where we're seeing this utilized the most, and that is taking advantage of that 15% account value bonus. Now, there's a few different ways that we're seeing the marketplace utilize this bonus. The biggest is recouping market losses. So if you look at, or if you're like me and you choose not to look at your own portfolio, last year, chances of having some sort of a market loss are obviously very great. So the optionality for your client not only to leverage a bonus to recapture some of those market losses, but as well as moving forward, have a fixed indexed annuity that offers that market protection. Really awesome story there. Hey, you lost 10% last year. Let's bounce back, give you a 15% bonus this year. Let's in the future avoid those market losses, because we have the zero is the hero story of a fixed indexed annuity, right? And if you ask your investment bank counterparts how we're looking for 2023, it's looking like we're headed into a repeat of 2024. I love that they added this second bullet point. If somehow your client had a positive year last year in their 401k in the stock market, let's lock in those gains. Let's amplify them with a bonus, right? That's a story as old as time. But one of my favorite stories is this third bullet point, and it's going to make us unique in this marketplace of this bonus product, and that is the bonus vest at death. So if your client dies in year 3, they're not getting 30% of 15%. What they're actually getting is 100% of that 15% because it vests at death. So this is an awesome death benefit play because of that optionality where it vests at death. So really great story there. Oftentimes you'll see competitors in the marketplace are going to have some sort of a vesting schedule, or upon death you get XYZ, but this truly vests at death, which I love that story. As we make our way through here, we'll talk about how with this product, we did not want to water down index strategies. We didn't want to give the client a 15% bonus and a 3% S&P cap. So we have a ton of uncapped strategies here, as well as a strong fixed option. We pulled the numbers on Monday, and it was interesting to see that 25% of the Performance Pro products that were sold utilizing the fixed account in some way or fashion. Fixed account, somewhere around 3% right now, so we get the 15% bonus. We lock in the 3% fixed account. Clients get 18% year 1. That makes for a really easy end of year meeting, right? Policy review. Hey, you got 18%. Let's look at capturing one of these uncapped strategies at this point, now that we've got our feet under us and we're in a better place as far as the economy goes. As well as we talked about earlier, there is a guaranteed income component here, and it's a similar story you may be used to, but it's a performance-based income. So we have a 2.75% compounding roll-up rate plus index credit. So that performance-based income story is still here, and it can still be utilized, but it's oftentimes used as a secondary selling point. Again, the bonus is no longer above 1%. I'm going to say it a few times as we go throughout here, but when you look at the bonus, it's 10 basis points, a tenth of 1%. It's not a typo. 10 basis points is the fee for this product. Now, I talked a little bit about this, but when we first met with our actuary counterparts, we did not want to have this bonus with really watered down caps and participation rates. We really wanted to be able to offer a strong bonus on a true growth product. We didn't want to offer a bonus on a fixed index annuity that does nothing else. We wanted to be able to still tout the index strength within the policy, and that's what we did here. So we increased the bonus, of course, this 15% bonus we'll talk about, which is industry leading. We knocked that fee down effective October 2022. That's really where the fire was poured onto this product, and that is by dropping it down to a 10 basis points fee. And then interest crediting rates were unaffected. We wanted to make sure with our actuary partners that when we rolled this out, we weren't going to water down those caps and participation rates. So this is what we did to the product. So if you've been around a while, you've known F&G for a while, and you know this product, these are the three things you're really focused on: increasing the bonus, lowering the fee, and making sure that the interest crediting or index crediting options were untouched. Now, what drives this product, again, is going to be that vesting bonus at the low fee, but there's also a ton of additive optionality for this product, and that is liquidity in times of need. So a majority of our fixed indexed annuities, your client's going to have access to their full account value in the events that they have to have home health care, nursing home care, or terminal illness. Let's talk about that income base again. That's a 2.75% roll-up rate plus index credits. It's called an add-on rate. It's legal verbiage, but it's really 2.75% plus index crediting equals the income bucket growth. Now, oftentimes, the biggest seller when it comes to that impairment positioning is not access to the account value. It's actually utilizing the impairment multiplier here at F&G, and we'll talk about this a little more in depth later. But what this is, if you're not familiar, is if your client cannot do 2 of 6 daily living activities, we are going to double their income until their account value equals 0. Then they will revert back to the initial income. One of the biggest things that's missed here is the fact that this is not confinement based. Oftentimes our competitors, you'll see a confinement based where it's like long-term care. They have to be confined for a certain amount of time. All we need is a doctor's note saying, my client cannot do 2 of 6 daily living activities. Here's when they were impaired. It's expected to be permanent. And boom, we start paying them double the income right then and there. It's that simple. No confinement, no hoops to jump through. It's really a nice benefit, and it's a really easy benefit to access. Now, we talked a little bit earlier about this. When it comes to optionality on this product, we did not want to leave the client with only the S&P optionality, which is here and strong and available in 1, 2, and 3-year crediting options. But we wanted to have the optionality for your client to diversify in the future, which we think is going to be huge. So when you look at the GS Global Factor Index, you look at the Balanced Asset 5 Index, and you look at the Barclays Trailblazer Sector 5 Index, all 3 of those indexes are offered on a 2-year chassis. On those 2-year chassis, they're guaranteed for the life of the contract to never have less than 100% participation rate. So this is some of the long-term sustainability that I talked about earlier in our partnership with Blackstone, and that is we wanted to be able to offer long-term sustainable solutions for your products. So you don't sell this today, and then next year when you meet with your client, the only optionality is for a 40% participation rate or a 2% S&P cap. If we remember 2021, we were looking at renewals like that from some carriers. So we wanted to make sure when we price products that they have some sustainability. And all three of those, I call it the 1, 2, 3 F&G guarantee. And that is all 2-year strategies on this product have 100% minimum participation rate. Really great stuff when it comes to this 10-year chassis, this 10-year product. When you're sitting down with your client, you can have some confidence and know that you're never going to see par rates on those three less than 100%. And if you ladder these strategies, each year you sit down with your client, you can ladder 2-year strategies and know they're never going to be less than 100% guaranteed minimum participation rate. So nice story there. Now, when it comes to what we're seeing trending, we're seeing a lot of people talk more and more about the guaranteed performance income, so that 2.75% roll-up rate, driving higher income. But really, when we're utilizing this feature, oftentimes it's utilized for that impairment benefit that I talked a little bit about earlier. Justin, are you able to hear me? I've got a message here saying I'm having audio difficulty.
Yeah, no, I can hear you just fine. I'd keep going. I don't know if that's on your end, but yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Okay.
Looks like we can. Yeah.
No,
technology, good old technology.
Yeah.
Carry on. You're good.
So when it comes to the payout factors on this product, this is not going to be like our Safe Income Advantage where you're going to see the highest guaranteed payout optionality. This is going to be relatively standard stuff. You're going to have that 3.35% for a single annuitant increasing by 0.5% every 5 years. Relatively standard when it comes to the guaranteed income space. But it's still here if your client needs it. How often are we sitting down with clients that are looking for a bonus, looking to capture some upside? They don't know if they need income, but they might. What I'm telling you now is it's here if they need it. It's an ancillary part of this product, but it's still here and it's still competitive because it's really based around the performance of the product. Now, of course, what we're looking at here, and I'll show you an illustration here in a few slides, but this is if your client put in $150,000 of initial premium and it's rolling up at that 2.75%, that's what your green portion is here. In the purple portion is the index credits driving the income base up and therefore driving the money in your client's pocket up as well. That's essentially what this is. If you looked at a standard illustration, it would show you this in terms of numbers. But I like this slide because it shows that the add-on rate has value compared to these guaranteed income stories. And we have a really strong one here at F&G with the Safe Income Advantage. But this is a different story, right? This is if your client doesn't need the guarantees, but they like the hypotheticals, they like the optionality to have it here, it's here. And this is, again, just another way to look at what I'll show you in an illustration here in a little bit, but this is historical performance for the Barclays, Trailblazer, Goldman Sachs, and the S&P. But really the thing that I love about these three strategies together is you have your traditional S&P component with competitive caps, right? That's the S&P annual point-to-point, simple story. Then you have your Barclays Trailblazer Sector 5. That again is that index that has 100% minimum participation rate for the life of the contract. But what this index does is it rotates within U.S. equities, 13 U.S. equities, large cap, and a bond component, your traditional 60-40. So you have two strategies here that are in the U.S. sector, right? Well, then you add this GS Global Factor Index, and that is similar to the Barclays. However, it's utilizing foreign equities. And if you ask any major investment bank over the next 10 years, if you're taking U.S. equities versus foreign foreign equities are actually expected to outperform the U.S. equities. So U.S. equities, somewhere around 6% year over year, 10-year average for the next 10 years, whereas your foreign equities are anticipated to do double-digit returns. Not saying that this is any sort of gold or worth its weight in gold, if you will, but it's great for your client to have the option to diversify within a fixed index annuity. Love the story. And you may have noticed earlier, there's actually a gold commodity index on here as well. So every so often you get that client, they walk into your office and they say, hey, Mr. Advisor or Miss Advisor, do you have the way I can buy gold bullion? Well, the answer historically has been no. But now you have an optionality within the fixed index annuity to utilize a gold component. Of course, like normal gold, it's pretty volatile, but it's there if you need it. And here is your hypothetical total income over time. But let's take a look at an illustration, what it looks like, what you'd be presenting potentially to your client. So 60-year-old client returning the income on after year 10, $150,000 in initial premium. And of course, we have those 3 index options that we talked about earlier, Barclays Trailblazer, Global Factor, and the S&P. So if you remember what that chart looked like, let's take a look in real time. I always start here with this slide because this is the first thing that your client would be looking at, and that is, this is the guaranteed page of the illustration, right? So this is if the product does nothing, 0% returns for the life of the contract, this is what would happen. The reason I love this slide is we talked a little bit about that death benefit earlier. Let's look at year 5. Let's say the client dies. What the beneficiaries would receive, if you go all the way to the right-hand side, you'll notice that the account value and death benefit are the same. It's not the surrender value, it's actually the account value. So if your client died within the first 10 years, that bonus vests right away. So it's really a strong story in that death benefit category. Not only is it strong there, it's also strong for that conservative client. Talk about the CD buyer that's out in the market today, buying CDs or buying MYGAs. We have the optionality to offer some guarantees within a fixed index annuity. $150,000 after 5 years, that $171,000, that's guaranteed. This isn't hypothetical based on index performance or anything like that. So it's a really strong story within the guaranteed bucket. And then, of course, if you go all the way, not quite all the way to the right-hand side, but second to the last, and we talk about that impairment multiplier, that's there if they need it as well. So if in this event, we get no market returns in year 11 or year, let's say 10, 9, whatever, the client becomes impaired, they can start utilizing that benefit right away. The positive thing here is if you look at the account value at 170, they can utilize that benefit until that account value equals 0, right? So they're going to be able to take double the payment via that impairment multiplier until the account value equals 0. And because of that bonus, the account value is stronger than you'd see historically. So it's really awesome. There's no 5-year limit on that benefit. So it's a really great benefit to complement this really nice bonus story. And then, of course, we have the aggregate summary based on current rates, historical performance of the index. But you add the bonus to the index crediting, and it's really a strong story for your client. But I want to take you back here because this is also a strong story. You still have those guarantees, but you add the hypotheticals to it, and it looks even better, right? One of the things that I also love that F&G has done is on the Performance Pro and on the Accelerator Plus, when the client turns on income, the index credits don't stop. You're still going to meet with your client yearly, have the option to look at different index credit options. They don't just stop. Oftentimes you turn the income on, it's done growing. But in this case, they actually have the optionality to continue receiving index credits. So it's really a strong story. When you look at the death benefit still here, again, is going to be the account value. This is not some sort of strings attached death benefit. So if your client turns on the income, starts receiving payments, and then dies, this isn't any sort of annuitization or SPIA. This is a guaranteed income proposition here. So if they die, the account value goes to their beneficiary. And again, it's not some sort of 5-pay, 10-pay. It's just a simple check that we'd issue to the beneficiary. So a really strong story from that bonus accumulation standpoint, from the death benefit standpoint, and from the impairment standpoint that we talked about a little bit earlier. One of the other things that I love that we're doing with our illustrations is on the 15th page of the illustration, your client can look at different hypothetical incomes. So based on most recent, low, high of these index strategies, we can project what a potential income could look like. So we have the guarantees on the left-hand side, most recent, lows, highs. So we can really play with this. We can throw the fixed rate in there to really set some solid expectations for our client if they're choosing to utilize the guaranteed income benefit here. Let's talk a little bit more about the impairment benefit or the impairment multiplier. So let's say that the income base or income benefit has grown to $25,000. If your client cannot do 2 of 6 daily living activities, we are going to double their benefit to $50,000 until the account value equals 0. So what does this mean? Let's say this client has been receiving this $25,000 for 5 years, and they're turning the corner to year 6. Left in their account value is $13,000. We're actually going to give them one more payment of $50,000 before it reverts back to the original payment. So until the account value equals 0 is how long we're going to pay this benefit. This isn't a 5-year limit or anything like that. As long as there's a single dollar in the account value, we're going to pay the enhanced benefit. When the account value equals 0, your client will continue to receive guaranteed income till the day they die. If you don't know, 2 of 6, if they can't eat, bathe, dress, go to the bathroom, they're not mobile, etc., we're going to pay this benefit. This is not a confinement benefit. It's not long-term care insurance. Because this is an indemnity product, it's easier for your client to get their money so they don't have to jump through any hoops. As I mentioned, I've seen 3 or 4 of these go paid this year alone. There is a 3-year waiting period. What that means is the contract has to be enforced for 3 years before they can receive this benefit. That does not mean that they can't already be receiving income. So if they turn on income in year 2, they still have to wait till year 3 to receive the benefit, but it's still available. They don't have to have no action on the policy if that makes sense. But all they have to do is wait 36 months and they can begin receiving this benefit. And then, of course, we have what I call the meat and potatoes portion of this presentation, and that is, this is the ins and outs of the product, the surrender schedules, etc. But one of the things I like to highlight here is that very top portion, and that is this contract issues all the way up to age 80, which again is a big win in the bonus space, especially with the bonus that vests at death. Oftentimes what you see is these contracts will issue to age 75, age 70. These issue all the way up to age 80. Not bad. Really like that. And then, of course, they can take 10% of the account value, the vested account value, each year after the first policy anniversary, penalty free. Again, some more meat and potatoes slides here, but it's often missed, but your client will have, depending on the state, access to their full account value in the event of home health care, nursing home care, or terminal illness. So should they not choose to utilize the impairment benefit, they have some different optionality here to access their account value in any of these 3 events. It's really a great benefit for those that are on the fence as far as, well, the surrender charge, this, that, what if I need the money? They will have access to it in any of these 3 events. Again, check your state, not available in all states. Death benefit play, love the story here. I used to wholesale life insurance, so how often are you meeting those clients that are 60 years old, that don't qualify for life insurance, or it's too expensive? I love the positioning of the 15% bonus there. Invest at death. So account value, including total vesting bonus, even if not fully vested. Love that. Greater of the 2. So pretty much no matter what, you're going to get that non-vested account value. Pretty great stuff. Now, in the past, we, as a company at F&G, had been lacking a little bit when it came to the marketing support, things like that. But our marketing team has really stepped up to the bat with the last few products. We've really gone above and beyond when it comes to creating content, useful content that you can sit down with your client or you can use for your own study materials. There's tons of stuff around the Performance Pro, around the Barclays Trailblazer, around some of these index we talked about today, and then around some of the features we talked about today, right? So the impairment feature, and we really have some dispelling myths as well. When I first joined the team here at F&G and I started learning about annuities, I oftentimes thought the only thing that annuities offered was guaranteed lifetime income. I didn't even realize the zero is the hero type story, but we have a lot of great marketing pieces around annuities 101, things like that, sales concepts, etc. So if you're not utilizing SalesLink, I encourage you to hop on there today. Take a look at some of the flyers we have because they're really, really strong. Our marketing team has done a really great job, not just with this product, but with all of our product suite. You can find some really nice complementary pieces out there. And then, of course, when it comes to this product, when it comes to the Performance Pro product, I want you to be thinking about the low fee. That's 10 basis points. I'm going to say it 3 more times before the end of the presentation, but it's 10 basis points. It's not 1%. It's not a 2% fee. It's 10 basis points. So 0.1% is the fee here. What you get for that is you get a guaranteed lifetime as well as the impairment protection. But really, the number one story that we're seeing is that bonus accumulation. You have 7 index offerings, 7 different options for your client to invest in on top of that bonus. Really love that story. Utilizing the 15% bonus, the 3% fixed rate. Let's get them 18% in the first year. Let's wade through some of this volatility that we're going to face in 23, and let's take another swing or step up to the plate in 2024. So on that 10-year chassis we talked about, you have all those uncapped strategies with the 1, 2, 3 guarantee, and you have that up to 15% vesting bonus. Again, this is not some phantom bonus. This truly is an account value bonus applied to the account value day one. Published tickers, talked a little bit about that, but you have a lot of optionality when it comes to the indexes within this policy, but some really good optionality that your client can track. Strong caps, we didn't want to water anything down. You got the performance-driven income, and that bonus that's fully vested at death. I love that story. Now, before I get into disclosures, I do want to mention one thing that F&G is also unique in, and that is we do not offset surrender charges with bonuses. So what does that mean? That means if your client has a 15% bonus, we're not going to take that business in the door, offsetting it with the bonus here. We still have a 5% net surrender that we will accept. So if your client is leaving one of our competitors, you're looking to replace that business, when it moves out the door, it's got to be less than 5% net surrender. So we do not take the 8, 9, 10% surrender charges and offset with this bonus. So something to think about when it comes to replacement. You still have to have the 5% net, which is still a good story, but don't think necessarily that you're going to be able to replace those 9-10% surrender charges with the 15% bonus, because it won't make it through the door here at F&G. So just something I always think is beneficial when you have a bonus product. Oftentimes it's the first thing people ask. So I did want to mention that before we wrap things up here today. But other than that, that's all I had. When you think about the Performance Pro, just think about that bonus, think about the low fee, and think about the impairment protection that's available to your client. I'd love to open it up for questions, or Mr. Justin can send us out of here if there are none.
Excellent. Hey, thank you, David, very much. I can see that being beneficial. Good note on the surrender charges. I have been running into, and I'm sure others, I can think of another opportunity, older clients who have aged out of the income benefit on a variable or FIA. In other words, if they were to take their income, regardless of how high their income base is, because of their age and life expectancy, they're not due to get any more than a free withdrawal, but they still want legacy transfer. Obviously, out of surrender, there may be some other options in there. So if you like the product, give us a call. Thank you very much, David, for going through that. It sounds like a diamond in the rough, but Lisa, Laura, myself, Matt, anybody here that you work with would be happy to discuss opportunities with you. Maybe you've got a client in mind now. Before we jump here, I do want to, as we do our follow-up, I want to switch over and do a quick poll with you here. And I'm going to launch our first polling question. These polling questions help us better understand when we follow up what we may need to get you right away. And I'm going to launch this first poll, which first poll here is, would you like to get contracted, and would you like information with F&G on this same product? And you'll see it on your screen there as you register. We use Surance Bay, as many of you are aware, and we'll send over to you the link to get that set up. If you're with Fidelity and Guarantee and you haven't done business with them with your other organization for 6 months, we can also handle that. If you're doing their IUL products, Index Universal Life, somewhere else, and you'd like to do the annuities over here, I believe, David, correct me if I'm wrong, we still have a split contract agreement, correct?
Yes, you do.
Or they can, excellent, yeah. So you can do your annuities with us and your life somewhere else without disrupting that other group, if that is something that you're interested in. And we'll close this poll here in a second and get us set up. Excellent. Thank you for your responses. And then in addition, going back to the question we had earlier, for those of you that have interest, if you're interested in IMS Wealth, hearing more about IMS Wealth Management, whether you are a 65 or you're looking at getting your 65, no question is too little or too big. I'd be happy to introduce you. Again, lower, from what I've heard, lower fee structure than a lot of RIA relationships out there if you're an investment advisory representative, which is a good thing. I can tell you, too, if you're getting into it first time, being partnered with IMS Wealth Management, we definitely, as you can imagine, have a understanding of and a respect for indexed and fixed annuities in the portfolio and insurance in general as that relates. So if you have a question or if you'd like to be in contact with them, we can definitely facilitate that as we're doing this poll here. But really appreciate your time, and David and everybody's time here on the presentation. We look forward to speaking with you in the future, and we'll be getting you some information based on your individual inquiries here on the polling questions shortly, and reach back out to you, and we'll be giving you a call. But if you do have questions for us, 800-255-5055. Be happy to take those questions. And David, again, thank you for your time, and look forward to seeing what we can do with this product. Have a great day. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Justin. Take care, everybody.
You're welcome. Thank you.